Hello and welcome back to Pleat It Petite. My name is Elizabeth and today I am so excited to bring you another sew along. So this is going to be an upcycled sew along. I'm going to be making the Belen Bodysuit from Masin Sews. So I bought this pattern a couple of days ago and I just want to get onto it, I want to make it, I want to do it, I want to get it done, I want to wear it, put it on my body. That is literally what I'm going to do. So I'm at the point now where I've cut out all of the pattern pieces. And what I love about this pattern the most is that there are 6 pieces and easy. I can whack this out very, very quickly. So hopefully I can do that. So what I have done for this is measured myself out. I'm an extra small, so I've cut myself extra small. So I'll just go through all of the supplies that you're going to need. So you will need 3, so I've used 3 old t-shirts. You can also just use normal fabric, but that is what I've decided to use because it's what I have. Here are the t-shirts that I am going to be using. I've got all my pattern pieces cut out, so the 6 that you're going to need are your front. So I've cut one in the main fabric and I've also cut one in the lining fabric. So my lining fabric is just this blue and then my main fabric is more of like a patterned greeny blue. And then you will also need the back piece, which I've also done a main fabric and a lining. You'll also need the bottom back, you'll need the back, you'll also need the front. So I've done these in a just plain black material because they will be what is tucked into the trousers, so black's easy, whatever. And then you're going to need your front crotch lining, you're going to need one of those, and your back crotch lining, and you're going to need one of those as well. So I've just done these in my main fabric because I had more of that, but these could be in like mesh or anything that is suitable for an inside lining. Let's get on to the sew along. Also, if anyone's like, what the hell has she done with her arm? I had a blood test this morning. So what you're seeing me do here is just pin the bodice together at the side seams, and then all I'm going to do after that is pin the lining exactly the same. I've also pinned the top down, just like the straps down, just to keep them in place, but we're not stitching them at the moment, just the side seams. And then we'll move over to the sewing machine and we'll just take a normal zigzag stitch and stitch them down both sides with the lining and the main fabric. So now what I'm doing is just putting them inside each other and pinning them down so right sides are together so that we can stitch down the armholes and the front holes where your head will go through. So making sure that your right sides of the fabric are together. So what I'm doing here is just taking it to the sewing machine with the same zigzag stitch, and then I'm stitching around the front neckline, the 2 armholes and the back neckline, making sure not to stitch over the top seam. What I'm doing here is just pressing down the seams so it's ready to be understitched. After you've done that, all you need to do is go to the inside and understitch the seam allowance to the lining. And then I didn't get this on camera, but what you're going to do after that is just stitch together the shoulder seams so that the whole of the bodice is closed at the top. Now halfway through and it looks like this. It looks really cool, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think I'd like the neckline, but I actually am really enjoying it. So whoop-de-doo. So I've just got to do the sexy bottom and then it's done. I'm not looking forward to doing all of the clasps and everything down there, and I don't really want to do them, I just want to kind of stitch it up, but I feel like I have to do the whole pattern. Only thing is, it's very tight. I think I should have made a small in this, but if I want to make another one, I'll just recut the pattern and do it like that. But sucks my boobies in. Not that I've got much, but yeah. But I need to take it off before I stretch all of this. This has been so easy. It's literally taken me like no time at all. And yeah. Woo, woo, woo. Hello, I am back. So, as you can tell, I've had a change of clothing. It is now day 2. So, I didn't actually get much done on it yesterday because I was procrastinating. And after I did the intro, I went and made some brownies. So, I didn't really get much done. But I have finished the top section of the bodysuit. And now I just need to do the bottom section, so I'm basically halfway through. I can't imagine that this will take too long. So what I'm doing here now is just taking the 2 crotch pieces and I am just pinning them together at the sides so that we can take it to the sewing machine, and I'm taking that same zigzag stitch and just pinning with a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance down each side just to close up the 2 pieces. So what I'm doing here is just marking out my elastic pieces. So for an extra small I needed 1 meter, so I cut out 1 meter and then cut that in half for each leg, and then I've just pinned together the elastic to the leg holes, and I'm just using that same zigzag stitch and just stitching along that seam line, and do that with both leg holes. Now I'm taking my iron and I am using the crotch pieces, and down the notches that you've marked, just fold over the pieces, and then you're going to pin them to the bottom pieces of the crotch, marking up the notches. So you're going to do that with the front and the back, making sure that you are lining it on the same side as the elastic, and then you're just going to stitch around both of the sides and right at the bottom, making sure not to stitch on that 4th edge at the top because we're going to turn that around in a minute. So after you've turned it to the right side, you're going to pin it down and then you're going to mark it, making sure that there's no raw edges. So use that same zigzag stitch. Then what I'm doing is turning the elastic round to the inside so you can't see the inside anymore, and then using the same zigzag stitch, just stitching the whole thing down. So what I'm doing here is I've just pinned the top of the bodice and the bottom of the bodice together, and then I have just done a same stitch and gone all the way around the waist seam. The next step will be to mark down your poppers at the bottom. This is the final step. So mark them down and then hand stitch them down to the bottom of the crotch seam. You'll need 3 here. I've added 3, but you could add more or less if that's what you want. So, we're finished, and this is my final garment. Okay, so, I'm so proud of this one, mostly because I was able to get through it, because what I've learned from this bad boy over here is that it does not like jersey fabric, so I've had to change a lot of things, which you've obviously seen. I've done a lot of like decorative stitches instead of doing a normal zigzag stitch, because my sewing machine is for some reason skipping stitches. I'm going to look into it, but you don't need to know about this. So the bodysuit, I'm kind of in love with it, and I'm filming this a couple of days after I finished this, actually, because I'm lazy. I wore this yesterday all day from about 11 o'clock to about literally midnight, and it was so comfortable. I don't think I've ever worn a bodysuit for this long and not felt like so like tight and like gross wearing it, but actually I really enjoyed wearing it, which is obviously what you want from a garment. If I was to make it again, I'd definitely make it in a sleeved version, so have the full sleeves, but I'd also change the sizing. So I made this one in an extra small, and I think there's one thing I'd change. It would be that the armholes, where I've stitched them up, they're very small, so I think hopefully if I was to make it in a small, instead of an extra small, they would be a bit more comfortable and like loose around my armpit, because I was noticing that it was very tight, and you know you get like the armpit fat. That was happening quite a lot when I wore it, but apart from that I really have no complaints about it at all. Yeah, I really enjoyed making this, and I'm definitely going to be making this again. So thank you to Masin for bringing out this pattern, and I really recommend it. This is quite tight as well on me, which I know I should have made a small now in hindsight. I definitely got my measurements a little bit wrong, but I do a lot of dance classes, so I think I'm going to wear this as like a sort of leotard. I think I'm going to wear it to dance classes when we can go back to dance classes, which I don't know how long that's going to be, but I can always save it. And also, just to warn you, in this try-on portion, you are going to see some extremely disgusting sunburn, because I wore it out yesterday. You might not see it because it's the sunburn lines of this top, but my back and my shoulders are completely red. So enjoy watching that, and I'm in a lot of physical pain right now and everything hurts, so this is why I'm wearing a fluffy jumper, so it doesn't hurt, but it's also very warm still, so I'm boiling. But I'm going to try this on, and I'm going to show you, and then that's the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed watching me make the Belen bodysuit, and I hope that you make one yourself. I will leave the link to the website where you can buy the pattern in the description below, so that you can check it out for yourself. They also on their site have a lot of different dress patterns, shorts patterns, and everything that is very in fashion at the moment. I hope that you make this, and if you do, I hope that you will tag me on Instagram and let me see what you make. And if you've liked this video, please remember to give it a like down below. Also, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos by me. I'm uploading on a Wednesday and Friday evening at 7 PM UK time, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!